My sense of what it means to work on inclusivity, to draw the circle wide, is that there is a story, a complicated human story being told, and it just happens to be my face that's there.
Yes. Yeah.
That it doesn't have to be specifically a white person's face. So that to me is what opens a door.
Yeah.
It's like, I go through something similar that you can also relate to, not you, but the viewer.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
So that is my sense of what it means to open it up.
Yeah.
Something where the material is about being a person of color seems a little bit old school.
On the nose.
Just it's a little dated.
Yeah.
For lack of a better word. That I know this is not what you're trying to do, but like, you know, when I see this and when I see it on stage, it's like, as a person of color, I don't only have to talk about being a person of color.
Yes, and we completely are, like, that's our goal as well. Like, our point of view from using some of the details from the interview that you gave us was that, well, who's Cindy as a person? Like, what are the specifics of your life? And how can we feed these into this character who also happens to have a son? Because the thing about the noodle really got me, because it's really true across cultures, right? Germans have egg noodles, and Italians have vermicelli, and Asian cultures have all kinds of different noodles in all of their, you know, different cuisines.
Yeah.
And so we were looking at one situation that may have seemed too specific. And then the next, we were trying to draw like 3 different situations with you as a performer that would lead you to say that phrase, right?
Yeah.
This would get utilized in 3 different ways.
Right.
But I think if we can use the song that we have as a basis, we can also look at the first verse we've written, and create a different situation that's more fictionalized.
I mean, whether it's fiction or not, it's like when I hear things like, am I different? And the kids think my lunch is weird, that harkens back to, you know, I was the kid that, you know, brought weird Asian food to school.
Right.
So
right.
it really points at, you know, fish out of water.
Yeah.
Which is different from, like, I just want to be the fish in the water, you know.
Yeah.
Not I want to be, but that is that's what I'm interested in terms of what inclusivity means.
Yes.
So a story that highlights difference in terms of culture or ethnicity is what I'm rubbing up against.
Yeah.
So, you know, like my initial response was, oh, this is not my actual experience, which now I understand what you're saying about fiction, but fiction or not, it's just that like, I like that phrase too, everybody has a noodle. I don't remember what led to that.
It was like several topics fed into that thing.
Right.
But I hear what you're saying completely. Like, I totally, and this has been one of the things that David and I have been wrestling with each time we write a song for somebody. Like, for instance, Ali Stroker, she's the first person in a wheelchair to win a Tony Award, right, in a musical. And the song I wrote for her was, what's a day in her life like? You know, when she's just going to the grocery store and she wants, she wants to get a bag of chips, and somebody says, you're so inspiring. And, that her life is, she's like, it's wonderful to hear that, but then sometimes I'm just buying a bag of chips at the grocery store.
Right.
It became like a comical way of expressing what she expressed in her interview.
Yeah.
But it's different than pointing to a cultural thing and saying, this is a conflict in my daily life because you're American, and that's not really true.
And also there's like for her to be in a position of like, that's nice that you feel that, but I'm just trying to get a bag of chips, is very, she's in control of that narrative.
Yes.
She also has like an edge on that. Like she's earned the right to say that.
Yeah.
Like telling like a child, not necessarily my son, like we're all different and we come from different history and wear different clothing. There's like an earnestness to it.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't have that edge. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
There's something about like wokeness
Mm-hmm.
that is more along the lines of like, I'm just buying chips.
Yes.
A knowingness, that doesn't exist in that other way in.
Yeah. Yeah.
What were you going to say, David?
Oh, it strikes me as that, is what Tom is saying is that in Allie's situation, she maintains the power. And so we just want to do something that is similar for you, that like keeps you in power.
I think it's also kind of presumptive for us to put on, the kid in the story that he feels different because he's Asian, because that wasn't really my intention either, but that's how it lands. That's the impact, right? We talk a lot in wokeness about impact versus intent. And the intent wasn't, oh, the kid is Asian, so he feels different. The intent was the kid wants to be like all the other kids, whether or not he's Asian, and his lunch sort of sets him apart. And that was like going very literal with the idea of a noodle, like this kid's lunch different from the other kids.
Yeah. Kind of everybody will eat spaghetti and not necessarily think that they're eating Italian food. If that makes any sense, like it's so like just part of the American diet that on a day-to-day basis, somebody will just eat SpaghettiOs and not be thinking about culture. They don't say, let's do Italian. They go, why don't we eat some pasta?
My grandmother would have a very strong objection to you hinting that SpaghettiOs are Italian.
But that word, but exactly. No, that nobody like makes that. SpaghettiOs is its own thing now. SpaghettiOs is American. Nobody thinks about that. But if someone's going to have lo mein,
yeah,
they're having
Chinese, yeah.
You know what? And also just because it's like a noodle, it seems like uber Asian.
I don't know. When you say noodles, I don't think Asian. I go to pasta. I think
you do.
I actually do too.
Yeah.
You do.
Everybody has a noodle. Of course, I thought Asian because you said it.
Right.
I was thinking, like we have so many types of noodles.
Right. Right.
There's a million names for noodles in Italian. There's so different kinds of pasta.
And yet, like, it's, I feel like, as a person of color in this country, it's just more loaded.
Yeah. Impact versus intent again.
Yeah.
This is the first time we've come up against this, and I think it's important because we knew that eventually this would kind of probably become a conversation.
Yeah. Well, and honestly, we are doing this so we have these conversations.
Yes.
So we create space where we can fail better,
Yeah.
so we can learn.
And
Yeah.
I sense that, and I appreciate that you're doing that, because not everybody's going to put themselves in this position to have something to rub up against because they don't want to make a mistake.
Yeah, we don't want to make a mistake, but
Right. But you have to, yeah. No, I mean, I think this is all great.
We have to start over, I think, anyway, because I really do think that in any of the songs we write for Draw the Circle Wide, we're not trying to write songs that are like schoolhouse rock, like instructional.
Right.
We're trying to write songs that are actable songs for the performer we're writing for.
Yeah.
And so I think we want to look more toward personal experiences that don't point toward the sociopolitical and more toward the personal.
Because it becomes sociopolitical if it comes out of this face.
Exactly.
It already is, you know, like it's already there.
Right.
Because you don't see it that much.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and then I was also talking about like fearing, like the fearing the sound of your child crying is like, that's another, probably most people, I don't know. I don't think
I think my point of view on that was that the crying was so like you're trying to be such a good mom, you don't want your kid to cry, and then you say and they just cry. So
right. No, but like Brooklyn moms are like, it's when their kid starts crying, I'm totally making a stereotype of Brooklyn moms, but but once a Brooklyn kid starts crying, it's like a stereotype. They're like, it's okay to cry. You cry all you want. I'm going to cry with you. I mean, it's that now.
Oh my God. Maybe that's what we're writing.
You need to cry. I mean, I have a full story around it's okay to cry, because my mother told my son, boys don't cry, like literally said that phrase.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, hell no.
Thank you for taking the time again, Cindy. We love talking to you. We like going back over and editing your interview, just like laughing out loud. So you're just marvelous. So,
Thank you.
Really enjoy recording this with you too.
Yeah, I look forward to it. And thank you for your flexibility and wanting to, just for doing all of this.
Of course.
Well,
yeah, it's an honor to be a part of it. Yeah.
So she told us that story about the crying, and I think there might be something in there that's actually even a little more moving.
I totally agree.
Than, and it still would be the same thing. Like the son cries and the mother-in-law tells him no, and she has to sing, "It's okay to cry. Go ahead and cry out loud," and that could be funny. And then in the next sequence, she goes to the doctor and she's like, how does this work? And what does the doctor say? The doctor says, go ahead and cry out loud because you have to, because it's healthier and whatever. And then they go back to the mother-in-law and the son says, so it's okay to cry. And the mother-in-law has to say yes, has to sort of turn the experience around, right?
Well, and actually that could be a really sweet turn on the chorus of the song, like her singing it kind of in a slow way, like, yeah, go ahead and cry out loud. That's the right thing to do. And she like slowly kind of like
ramps into it. Possibly.
I agree. I think that would be a better approach.
We want to thank Cindy Cheung for being so patient with us and also for making us laugh so much. I mean, that was really fun, right?
Fun and a great education for all of us.
And if you want to hear Cindy's new song, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and you'll get an announcement.
If you would like to find out more about becoming an ally, please see the resources in the description below this video.
With Draw the Circle Wide, we are committed to shining a spotlight on diversity and representation.
And we hope this webisode has encouraged you to draw the circle wide in your own life.